Hey guys, and welcome to the ConCon channel. In this video, we're going to be giving a review on Still Wakes the Deep. I have just finished the game. It took me about 3.5 hours, but I was playing on like, semi-easy story difficulty. Now that's mainly because horror and puzzles don't usually work well with me. I'm not a huge fan of like horror games in general, but this one just looked too good to pass up on. And after completing the game, I was right. This game has something worth experiencing and playing through at least once in your life. Now, I'm not sponsored or being paid to play this. In fact, I have no idea why I'm making this video. It's just I wanted to play this game and make a review on it because it's a game. Now, I'm going to break down this video into 6 major sections as I've done with reviews that I've made in the past, and the first one we're going to start with this time is going to be graphics. The graphics on this game are incredible. The first thing I would suggest, however, is going into your video settings and turning off the noise thing, the one that makes like the video, like the screen very noisy with like dots everywhere. I don't like it. If this is a thing for you, keep it on. And also motion blur. I'm not a fan of motion blur genuinely, but that's so that I can like freeze frame and take thumbnails from whatever scene I want, instead of everything being blurred as I move around. With those 2 settings opted, the game actually looks incredible, super realistic, and sometimes I was like, man, this is like real life. There's some scenes in there where like, I just had to stop and just like look at things, and I was like, wow. It's like incredibly realistic. It is a gorgeous looking game. Like, I would recommend just playing through it just to look how real everything looks. It's fantastic. This coupled with how the characters look real as well, everything just has this super realistic vibe to it. It feels like I was there, or I was like watching a movie. That's actually the best way to explain it. It feels like I was in a movie. It feels like I was part of a movie is what playing this game felt like, at least in terms of like the graphics. Now, perpendicular to the graphics, we have the sound. The sound design in this game is also incredible. The voice narration, the way they speak, the characters, it's very Scottish, so the subtitles do sometimes come in handy to like say, what the hell did he just say?
Who's that?
Rennick, it's me, Kaz.
McClary, what the fuck are you doing to my lifeboat?
It's gone. It's just fell off into the fucking sea.
You must have done it wrong.
Fuck off, Rennick.
The voices were uniquely Scottish, so sometimes you just can't really understand what they're saying without reading the subtitles. That's not anything against the Scottish accent, it's just it sounds so different. Although jarring at first, you actually get so absorbed into how real the voice acting is. It's almost as real as the scenes you're witnessing. This game just feels very real in a kind of creepy way, which I kind of guess is the point, right? It's a horror game. Moving on to our third topic, we're going to talk about gameplay. So the gameplay kind of coincides with like 3 major parts, like some storytelling, giving you some backdrop on like what's actually happening in the game. And then there's like parts where you have to solve puzzles, do a bit of parkour, kind of like walk around, press this switch, jump over here, climb on the ledge, make sure you grab there, do a little bit of like Tomb Raider kind of like climbing, make sure your grip doesn't let go kind of thing. Very fun. I actually enjoyed those parts of the game. Like, it was really cool, like having to, do all of those things. And of course, sometimes monsters will be chasing you through, hallways, through water, through pretty much anything that you can imagine. You will be chased at several intervals of this game, and that is like the 3rd major aspect to the gameplay within Still Wakes the Deep. Moving on to the 4th pillar of this review, we have the story. Talking about the story of Still Wakes the Deep, it involves a Scottish electrician who has gone to work on an oil rig with his friend Roy, who works as a cook on the same oil rig, and he's left his wife and his 2 girls back home who, well, his wife is like upset with him for actually taking this job in the first place, and the whole story revolves around like him having I guess a little bit of regret for leaving them, but also like having to take the job. I don't really know why he took this job and like why it was so important to him, but it's something that he did, and this is stuff you'll find out during the story. Alongside that, you'll also be learning about, all of the different people on the oil rig themselves as things go tremendously evilly wrong, and you just kind of like have to try and keep people alive and save people and make sure they don't die or avoid them when they do. There were at least 2 moments where I was like, sitting here with like goosebumps and going like, wow, this is deep. It's like, okay. I got like really invested and like immersed into the feelings that the characters were feeling, and I was like, relating to everything that was happening as I was like the main character in this movie that I played through, which that's why I say it's like a movie. It's like I experienced this, which was a very cool feeling for a game. It kind of reminds me of the same vibe that I got from like Life is Strange back when I played that when it first came out. Like it was like experiencing a story, and this story is very reminiscent of that. The fifth part of this review is going to be talking about the controls for the game. Now, generally, you have like running, you have walking, you have crouching, you even have like proning where you like climb through things on the ground. You can also climb up, and you can like you do like monkey bars, and like, you know, there's a lot of like parkour elements to this game, surprisingly. Though at the very beginning of the game, when I first started playing, the camera does feel a bit weird, but maybe it's like the sensitivity for me and like a new game, and it's like ultra realistic. So when you move left to right, it just feels like the FOV is a little too low for me. It feels like I'm playing on like 60, maybe 70 FOV, and it's a little like zoomed in front of you for my liking. I generally play games with much higher FOV, so that might just be a personal thing. But overall, the controls feel really good, and you get used to them super quick. I think about like half an hour in, like anything that was bothering me stopped bothering me because I just got used to like how the game functions and how it works. Though I did get stuck on a bucket that was in the middle of a doorway, and for some reason I could not walk past the bucket. It was weird. There were also a few other instances where I got like stuck clipping like the side of the wall, or when you're swimming and you like, you know, you hit the like the wrong angle of the wall, you kind of get like stuck and you have to like just change where you're facing to keep moving. That does happen a few times, which could be a little annoying, but you get over it very quickly. And there's also just a few visual bugs that happened where like monsters were clipping through hiding places that I was hiding in, and it just felt a bit weird. But not enough to say that the game is like broken or anything. It was just like odd little bugs that I guess I'm used to experiencing from like most games these days anyway. For the final part of the review, we're going to talk about the fun aspect of the game. Was the game fun? Now the game, I don't know if you can classify it as fun. If it's like a horror game, maybe like if you have that mindset where you like being terrified and you like things jumping out and scaring you, great. Yeah, that's fun. Me, it's a little bit of a different story. I did have fun exploring the game, doing like the parkour and the climbing. It kind of felt like I said, like the Tomb Raider aspect, like where you like, you know, progressing from like one side of this cliff up this mountain, and you got to like figure out which way you're supposed to go. And it could be fun in that aspect of like exploring and finding out what's happening in the story and seeing the visuals that just look so realistic as they come to life, and like things just progressively get worse on this oil rig, and you're just like, wow, stunned. So yes, I guess in my version, I was happy that I played this game. I don't regret playing it. It was a really cool game. I'm glad I got to experience it and see what it looks like. In fact, I wish more games looked and, you know, felt like this, with the immersion and the narration, the voice acting, and just the stunning visuals. I think it was a solid game. I would definitely recommend you guys check this game out. It is on Xbox Game Pass, so if you happen to have that, I recommend just, you know, giving the game a quick playthrough and experiencing it in your own mind. That's it for my review. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching.